Hey, thanks for joining, and please remember to like and subscribe. I've got a few videos lined up for us today, so let's jump right in.
Does this pic look familiar? It's the Backrooms, and there's a guy that claims to be stuck in them in real life. The Backrooms are a liminal space just outside of our reality that you can't escape from. Liminal spaces are essentially the uncanny valley, but for settings instead of people. Liminal just means being at the edge of something new, right before it really starts. The in-between. The uncertainty that occurs after something has just finished but the next thing hasn't started yet. Like the period of time between Christmas and New Year's, or standing in the middle of a doorway. A liminal space is just an in-between area, a setting that appears to be transitioning from one phase to another. Like a basement before someone moves in, an empty school hallway at night, or an office without furniture. You look at these spaces and there's something missing. There's no people, no focal point, almost like a place that we shouldn't be looking at, which makes it feel somewhat unsettling, creepy, yet oddly familiar, hence the uncanny valley aspect. They usually come with a sense of nostalgia too, a place from your childhood or even a dream that you so vaguely remember. One of the OG viral liminal spaces was this one, an unsettling image that just felt off and we can't quite put our finger on why. Strangely familiar, but also a little uncomfortable to look at. Originally a post on 4chan, no one knows where this photo was really taken, but there are some who claim they actually found the spot. This particular liminal space became known as the Backrooms, a place that you can fall into if the conditions are just right. So you can consider the reality you're in right now the front rooms. And if you're not careful, you can accidentally no clip out of this reality in the wrong areas and end up in the Backrooms. Clipping is a video game term referring to two objects going inside of each other. No clipping just means passing through the boundaries of playable area and ending up outside of the game's world. The Backrooms is what they say we'd find if we no clipped out of our reality. Weird yellow tinted rooms with musty carpets and endless fluorescent lights that are, according to lore, 600 million square miles. Triple the total surface area of Earth, that's including oceans, a liminal space that goes on for all intents and purposes forever. These signature Backrooms gained popularity through a viral video series by Kane Parsons, shot through a lo-fi VHS style filter, which adds to the nostalgia factor. Even coming across other spaces like an abandoned apartment courtyard or the empty basement. It's a fictional space for all we know, but more people are coming across strange finds suggesting they may have actually found the Backrooms for real. Like in Japan on Google Earth, zoom in and you see a space that looks exactly like the Backrooms with a strange hole in the floor. Same thing in none other than Antarctica. Go to Street View and we see the familiar yellow rooms. And this one also down south that almost seems to continue the same hole from Japan. People are starting to think that these Backrooms are actually real. One guy's even stuck in his own liminal world and he's showing us proof. Imagine you woke up one day and found out you were the only one left on Earth. This Spanish TikToker Javier insists to be just that when he allegedly woke up in a hospital in Valencia, Spain in February of 2027. Claims that at some point between now and then, everyone on Earth just disappears. Raptured maybe? And for some reason only he remained and can communicate with the past, us, through online mediums like TikTok. Sounds like a stretch, I know, but no one can explain how he's pulling any of this off. He walks through fully empty grocery and department stores, even full-blown soccer stadiums, incredibly empty street views like this one, and even electronic devices he shows displays the year 2027. Despite being in a city with a population of about 800,000 people, he even enters random apartments and hotels, walks around in large outdoor public areas only to be met with emptiness. Liminal spaces. If this was fake, it would be incredibly difficult and almost equally impressive to pull off. He jacks a cop car and drives around entire neighborhoods, visits military bases, all completely abandoned. Even the zoo has no animals and no birds flying in the sky, like anywhere. Comments try to catch him in his act by challenging him to go to active public hospitals, popular restaurants, all during peak hours. And he does it all just to prove the deniers wrong time and time again. Dead empty hospitals, restaurants, and even shows street signs that display the time in the middle of the afternoon. Was he actually transported into his own liminal universe? If you do some digging on the TikTok page handle, you might find out that this person Javier may actually be part of a production team working with the city of Valencia on an online project, which could be what's giving him access to all these public spaces completely empty. Sort of like an ARG, augmented reality game, where viewers follow along and suggest what he does next. But even if that was the case, how do you explain the empty active hospitals, stadiums, neighborhoods, zoos, no animals or birds anywhere? If this really was a project cooperating with the city, surely tens of thousands of citizens would see huge areas blocked off and spill the beans online. I can't imagine in what world you'd be able to keep an entire city silent about massive public spaces being closed off. Not gonna lie, this alleged project is pretty hidden and the account itself denies affiliation with any stage series. Always do your own digging and learn to create your own opinions. Don't ever just take anyone's online word for it, even mine. I'm sure the comments are crying either way, insisting it's 100% fake and I'm misleading, even though I just admitted it might actually be fake. Nothing's ever for certain, always keep your mind open. Who knows, maybe he actually did wake up in the year 2027, filmed all this, and then it was covered up as a media project to keep everyone calm. You knew I couldn't resist.
So those are the back rooms that I was talking about in my previous video. Started off as a 4chan and Reddit story and then kind of took on a life of its own. Makes me wonder if it's a tulpa, a creation that exists through the power of mass belief. What we write becomes real. Who's to say? I hate to burst anyone's bubble about the time traveler though. That man is using Unreal Engine and a little bit of AI. The new Unreal Engine is immaculate. Its ability to render real landscapes is absolutely amazing. That's how he's getting to all those locations without anybody there. They're using Unreal Engine to just do a 3D map and then reprint it. There's also AI tools that allow you to remove people and cars and different objects with ease. So it's very easy for you to go through and make a video walking down a packed street, run it through an AI, and there you go. Now there's nobody in the street whatsoever. So using a combination of these things, that's how our time traveler is making his videos. But it is still a lot of fun. And although I'm on the fence if the back rooms are real or not, I actually kind of think they are. I really do. There's just something about them that makes me feel like maybe the person who originally wrote the story was just kind of getting a hint from some other force, like a muse. But what do you guys think? Are the back rooms real or just a really good story? Let me know in the comments.
Cheese. Cheese. What you doing? What you see? What? What you see? Who are you saying hi to? Who are you saying hi to? Dude, you need to stop that. You're freaking me out. Come on.
SpongeBob night.
SpongeBob off.
Liam, come here. Liam, right now. What is happening? Okay, I'm calling your mom. Just stay right here.
I wish I could be a pirate again.
You do?
Yeah.
When were you a pirate?
I was a long time ago when you weren't alive, and then I shrunk into a little kid. And I never could be a pirate again.
It's just Pawpaw. For real though, that video made me crawl right out of my skin. I believe kids when they say they see something. I'm very happy that my kids have not done anything like that with me just yet, but I've been kind of quietly waiting for the day. I think the chair video is less convincing. I don't know why she was recording SpongeBob time, but her reactions did seem genuine, and it's hard to get a kid to act well. So the kid did a pretty good job in that video also, but I'm not sure if I buy the chair rocking. The pirate girl, though, I definitely believe that. I think that there is absolutely something to reincarnation, and she seemed very sincere. The girl clearly missed being a pirate and wanted to get back onto the open seas. I think for this clip, I believe the little boy. I believe the pirate girl. I'm still on the fence about the rocking chair, but even that one was fairly believable. What do you guys think? Were these for real?
My friends, it is my opinion that the Antarctic anomaly frequency is heating the Atlantic Ocean and will make hurricane season a lot worse. Check this out. And of course, this is only a theory. All right, my friends, welcome back. We're on Vent2Sky, and look what's back. It is May 23rd, 2024, and we have the beginning of the Antarctic anomaly once again. This one goes for a few days before they remove it. They will remove this. They always do. I'll skip to the days real quick just so you can see how far this frequency goes, because that's what this is. This is a frequency technology coming from Bovet Island, and you can see this spreading all the way up to the northern Atlantic, and I'm going to explain why we see this again. As you can see, the data here ends on the 29th. They will remove all data except for the data that initially took place, which will be right about here at 11 a.m. on Thursday. So you'll see this, and you'll see the rest of today, and then they will gradually remove this data. Now, I want you to think about something. the insane amount of heat we've been having in the Gulf and the southeastern states. But my friends, what we are seeing here with this heating of the Atlantic Ocean, we are 3 months ahead of schedule. As you can see on this chart, this is where we should be in the month of August as far as the temperature in this section of the ocean, the exact path where our hurricanes come from the west coast of Africa, sweep down through the Cape Verde Islands, and then into the Caribbean. This is going to be a serious situation for the Caribbean, as I said, and also the Gulf. We're going to be dealing with Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, all these areas, including the Gulf of Mexico and eastern Florida. That is why, in my opinion, of course, this is my theory about this situation, we are seeing this Antarctic anomaly because this is a type of frequency weapon. This program has no other way of determining this type of data, so it only puts it out in a wave format. That's why it's not showing up in any other setting, and sometimes we get this on windy and sometimes we don't. But this, my friends, is the program trying to analyze this data, and the only way it knows how to is to put it in this form, so we're seeing an energy pulse. That's why we had the insane weather all over Africa and then Brazil shortly after and during these anomalies. There's no denying that that weather lined up exactly with every time this anomaly popped up. You can see that here in this image. Every time the anomaly popped up on 4/9, we had insane weather in Cape Town, South Africa. It was then followed by insane weather in Kenya, and then Oman, and then Brazil, as we just discussed. So keep an eye out for significant weather in these areas or the continuing of significant weather. My friends, this is a very significant thing that's taking place down by Antarctica, whether it's the island we've been speaking of, the Weir Antenna Array up to the northwest of the island, or the Antarctic coast itself. Regardless, this is a frequency. There's nothing physical about this situation or wave. There's no waves being read because that's not what's actually here. It's only being read as waves because this program has no other way of analyzing this type of info and putting it out to us. So this is the extent that we get the anomaly this time, going all the way up into the North Atlantic Ocean. This is unbelievable, my friends. I'll keep up on this as always. Take care. Bye-bye.
I'm starting to think that this is weather warfare. So the anomaly begins back in April, but apparently it's shown up again a couple of times. And at the same time, we've got wildlife trying to beach itself all over the ocean. We've got temperatures heating up. There's been a whole lot of strange activity in Florida. The wildlife, the ocean life there is going crazy. People have been recording videos up and down the Florida coast for giant schools of sharks acting abnormally, beaching themselves, trying as hard as they can to escape the water. I saw a news clip where the newscasters were saying that after they had done a short story on this topic, they've been inundated with videos from Floridians all up and down the coast showing this kind of behavior. So something certainly seems to be going on down there. Granted, it could just be that they're reacting to a hurricane. But on the topic of Hurricane Beryl, I do think that it's connected to what's going on with that anomaly. There's been a lot of videos showing some strange activity in the hurricane, including some swirling patterns that are abnormal. I'm no meteorologist, though. I do find it very interesting that it's originating from Bouvet Island. Bouvet Island is a very obscure, unknown place. It's been uninhabited for all of human history. Nobody's ever lived there. It's very near to Antarctica, and it's the point of origin for that anomaly. Now, Bouvet Island, even though it's uninhabited, apparently has imports and exports. Its imports are all construction materials, lumber, concrete, devices for power, generators, things like that. But its exports are jewelry, textiles, things like that, lumber. It's strange considering the island is completely covered in glacial ice. And there is that strange antenna relay there. I'm wondering if perhaps what's going on at Bouvet might be a continuation of Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower, possibly a continuation or an offshoot of HARP, but I'm not sure on that. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this one, though, especially as it pertains to Hurricane Beryl. Hey, if you guys like what you see, I would really appreciate it if you could leave me a comment, like, and hit the subscribe button. Since this is a new channel, every bit of engagement matters and helps me to get past that YouTube algorithm and get more views. More views means more videos. Let's get back to it.
Well, well, well. First of all, I love you. Second of all, I am so excited. I have not even brushed my hair. I'm still kind of chilling Saturday morning and there's been an earthquake on Bouvet Island. Let's take a look.
There should only be minor seismic activity, but here we are with a 5.6 at a depth of a somewhat mysterious 10 kilometers, which USGS says is when they don't know the depth. We know that Bouvet Island was the location of Alien versus Predator, but I bet you didn't know this.
Bovatoya Island, but it's not on the ice. It's 2,000 feet below it.
Yes, that was Meg 2. They have all the juicy intel.
Not the only one with a satellite over Antarctica.
Always the mysteries in Antarctica, even in 1957 with this unusual ionospheric disturbance. But back to Bouvet.
I have been studying everything about this island.
And I'm definitely not the only one.
Since a mysterious South Atlantic blob anomaly showed up nearby, it hasn't erupted for 2,000 years, which does make it sort of strange that this website does quite frequent updates on the island.
It says it has a meteorological station and studies foraging strategies. It's uninhabited. Not much for land use, except other. Perhaps foraging. It's got exports, which is peculiar since it's uninhabited. And the imports include aluminum structures. Small print, defense is the responsibility of Norway. Well, I hope they don't have an issue because it's a third way round the world to Oslo. Here's just a little quick hi to our friendly neighborhood blob. Here's a scientific article showing how Bouvet sits near the fault lines. It has rare earth elements, as if we ever doubted, and an EU anomaly. Well, since I'm not a scientist, I had to look that up. It's europium, and it's used for rods in nuclear reactors and lasers.
I'm not the only one with a satellite over Antarctica.
Funny you should mention, because followers know that I love the TV show Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. They use a laser to try and agitate UAPs.
Where we've detected all kinds of radiation spikes and obtained evidence of an invisible anomaly that has deflected other lasers and GPS devices in the past.
Well, at the South Pole Research Station, they use the same laser, but it's for weather testing and measurements.
But it's not on the ice. It's 2,000 feet below it.
I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
The plot thickens. I didn't realize Bouvet Island was the setting for the Alien vs. Predator movies, and that makes me even more suspicious. It seems like Hollywood is always telling us what the elites and governments are up to, but in a tongue-in-cheek kind of truth through fiction way. The earthquake on Bouvet Island. How about that? We got a volcanic area that has not erupted in 2,000 years, and now we're starting to see earthquakes from deep below the ground, deep below the ground. That is very curious. Makes me wonder if maybe there is some kind of pyramid or alien structure down there that's starting to rumble. It also makes me think of those whistleblowers that came out of Antarctica saying that Lockheed Martin and a couple of other major companies had these underground devices that were essentially doomsday machines. Not only that, but they could use these devices to listen in on communications worldwide, some kind of massive spying device. I'm wondering if perhaps they were talking about what's going on at Bouvet Island. So what is the connection to Bouvet and the anomaly? Bouvet is the point of origin. What is the connection to the anomaly and the hurricanes? It's heating up the water to create a wicked hurricane season. And I think the results are going to be devastating. I pray for everybody who lives in the impacted areas. If you are in the path of Hurricane Beryl, I do recommend getting out. It looks like this one's going to be nasty. I think that's where we'll go ahead and call this video today. I appreciate you joining me this afternoon, and I wish you guys all the best. If you enjoy what you're watching, please remember to like and subscribe. And if there's a specific topic you'd like me to cover or a video you'd like me to review, let me know in the comments. On the topic of the hurricane, I'll go ahead and leave you guys today with this. Until next time.
This Hurricane Beryl is absolutely massive. Not only is it the earliest storm, massive storm that we've seen this early in the season ever recorded, it is now the largest ever recorded. And what's weird to me about this whole thing is I was watching and tracking this yesterday because it's headed right for my home state of Texas, right where I'm at. And I'm tracking this thing yesterday, and I'm listening to them talk about it yesterday afternoon, and what they're saying is it's going into the Caribbean, and as storms go into the Caribbean, they always slow down, they always get smaller, so they all were predicting it would shrink overnight from a Cat 4 to a Cat 3 by this morning. But it didn't. It got stronger overnight, continued to grow overnight, became a massive Category 5 in the middle of the night. I don't know, y'all. This stuff just is getting weirder and weirder. We know that the Bible talks about weather in the last days. We know that it talks about the earth groaning in birth pains and all the weird things that will happen. But these things are unprecedented, and they're happening everywhere. Flooding events, wildfire events, earthquakes, hurricanes, volcanoes. Everything seems to be waking up, and we're seeing things that don't fall in line with any previous scientific research or studies, especially this hurricane. It's not falling into any traditional patterns.